So, with Sony raising the prices of their consoles and their games, and Nintendo doing the same, and Xbox doing the same, I've been kind of wondering lately, what am I going to do for the next generation? I know a lot of people have been blaming Sony's console price increases strictly on the tariffs. However, I can confirm actually out here in Japan, they did the exact same price increases on us 1 year ago. So this seems to be a global thing. It doesn't really matter where you are. And with prices increasing on consoles around the world, I'm wondering what I'm going to do for the next console generation. And honestly, I want to go completely over to Steam. There's been a lot of discourse I've seen online recently about a Steam PC console thing that they're working on right now, and a lot of people, I see a lot of people online saying, who would want this? Who wants this? Me. I want this. So I've kind of got I think kind of a general perspective on video games. I'm a normal guy. I am not super tech savvy. I don't want to build my own PC. I don't want to dump hours into that kind of thing. A couple of hours every day, or a couple of hours every other day, or a couple hours maybe only a week, depending on what the schedule looks like. I've got some time to slip away and play 45 minutes of video games. I don't want to spend 15 minutes, setting things up or updating drivers or messing with this, or, well, did I do that right? I'm not that tech savvy. I just want to plug and play. That's why I love Nintendo so much. They're the most plug and play console of all time. They've always been famous for just plug it in, play, and go. I just don't particularly want to build my own PC. Not only that, but I really, really, really hate Windows. I have owned a PC in my home since I was a very small child. The first operating system I remember my father having was Windows 95. And then we went from 95 to 98, and then up and up and up. I even had the dreaded Windows 8 for a while. That was terrible. And the last Windows operating system I had was Windows 10. And I gotta be honest with you, I have never liked it. I've never been a big fan. And recently, with Steam leaning more into Linux, and more people, such as PewDiePie, building a PC and, putting Linux on there, I've been more interested in that. But once again, you've got to learn a whole lot about Linux, I feel like. You've got to be able to sit down and mess with it. PewDiePie is basically unemployed, He can sit down, figure it out for a couple of hours, no big deal. I gotta go to work. I don't have time to do that. Not only that, but I gotta go to work in Japan. So, a little different. I would love it if Steam would create a Linux-based console that I could just put on my desk. I could download all my games on it. I could plug an SSD into it, and I could just keep my library on there, and I could just go. I would want it to play things like, Metal Gear Solid Delta just came out. I'd love it to be able to play that flawlessly. The Steam Deck is already starting to really kind of show its age. I have a Steam Deck OLED, and I absolutely love it. I'm playing Silksong on it right now. It's fantastic, but I can already kind of feel the limitations. It runs Red Dead Redemption 2 okay, but it's not ideal. I'd rather just play it on my PS5. And so ultimately, I think Valve is in a very unique position right now, where a lot of people are really sick and tired of console manufacturers. Everyone's really kind of tired of what Sony's been doing with their prices. Everyone's been complaining about Nintendo with the game key cards and stuff like that. People are love it or hate it with Game Pass, because a lot of people think that it's killing, people aren't buying games anymore. It's not working, there's this weird discourse around every single console right now, and Steam is in a unique position to where they could come in and undercut the competition. They could say, hey, look, we're going to charge a box the same price, or maybe even $50 to $100 less than PlayStation. Whatever the PlayStation 6 is going to cost, undercut them by about $100 and say, this thing will get you access to your Steam library. You can access the Epic Game Store. You can access GOG. You can access, maybe even you could possibly access, what is the Game Pass, the PC Game Pass, possibly. Who knows? You can access all of that through this Steam console. And guess what? A lot of people would say, well, that's kind of competitively priced. It's only $100 or $50 cheaper. But guess what? There's no online subscription. You don't have to pay to play online. The Sony online subscription service right now is insane. I haven't been a subscriber to that in over 4 or 5 years. I cannot believe how much more expensive it was, or how much more expensive it is now versus when it was. I'm just honestly shocked. The other day I was like, how much is that? I may get the essential, whatever the baseline is, and I just was like, dude, no way. I'm not gonna pay for any of this. This is wild. And so I think if Steam were to undercut by just $50 to $100 on the hardware, also undercut on the services, and say, look, we do famous Steam sales all the time. Everything's really, really cheap. And if you don't like it on Steam, maybe there's a sale on Epic Game Store, and you can access it on our device. You're not locked out of it. You're not locked into some kind of weird ecosystem where it's like, oh, the Switch only allows you access to the Switch eShop, or the PlayStation only allows you access to the PlayStation eShop. It's like, no. Go buy the game wherever you want. You can even probably, you can already now, on the Steam Deck, if I buy a game in GOG, I can download it on my Steam Deck, I can add it to my Steam library, and I can access it via that OS. It's great. It's like, wow, I could just do that. That's fantastic. And like I said, I know a lot of people have kind of been saying, well, dude, just build a PC, just do that. And it's like, I'm not that interested in the hardware. I'm not that interested in building my own PC. Also, the expense is another thing. I don't really want to spend $1,000. I don't really want to spend $1,500. I'm right around that $5 to $6 or $650 price range. That's really where I am. And I don't know. I've honestly been kind of shocked whenever I watch videos on YouTube of people saying, who would even want this? This can't compete with PlayStation. It absolutely can. It absolutely can. The circles that I run in, or the people that I hear from, they're not that pleased with the PlayStation this go around. My best good buddy's got a PlayStation. I would love to be able to play online with him, but neither of us want to pay the subscription fee. So we just jump on Steam. He goes on his PC and I go on my Steam Deck and we play there. It's just not worth the cost anymore. They've gotten too greedy. And I feel like Steam they could sweep the next console generation if they wanted to. With the prices of their games, with as many sales and stuff that they have, also their friendlier ecosystem with there's no subscription to playing online. That's wild. Sorry, I'm actually on Steam right now, so something just finished downloading. I don't know. I really hope that they do make one. And I hope that it's reasonably more powerful than the Steam Deck. Because as soon as I got my Steam Deck, I immediately downloaded a few games from my library. One of them was Sekiro. I bought Sekiro, and I don't know. I bought it on a whim because it was on sale before I even had the Steam Deck, and I was like, I just kind of want it in my library because I was loving it on the PlayStation 4. And I beat it on PS4, and it was great. And when I got the Steam Deck, Sekiro ran flawlessly. It was perfect. And I went through the entire game again. I just could not stop playing it. And I loved the ecosystem, and I loved, getting the achievements and the trophies again. And some of my buddies would even message me like, "Oh, I see you're playing Sekiro," and I was like, "Yeah, man, I got a Steam Deck," and I'm kind of like, all of my friends are kind of on Steam now. Whenever I go on the PlayStation, it's kind of a wasteland. I got like one guy that like one friend that's on there. Oh, he was playing 2K. Okay, what's everybody else playing? It's like, oh, has not been online in the last like year. It's just offline. Just they've not been online in forever. And it's like, okay, it seems like Steam is where everybody is right now, and I'd like to be there too. And I feel like I'm not the only person that feels this way. I feel like personally the minority of people want to build their own PC and make it customized and go crazy. I feel like that's not that many people. I feel like most people are in my situation. They work for a living. They're too busy to do that kind of stuff, or they got kids like myself. Like, where and when am I going to do this, right? Like, my daughter's going to want to get involved, and it's like, no, you can't do this too. And it's not a child-friendly activity together. And like I said, even if I didn't have a daughter, like, when I come home from work, it's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that together. I've got a nice Lego set I'll kind of slowly put together every once in a while, but I don't want to put a PC together, man. I'm just not interested in that. I'm not passionate enough about it. I just would love it if Valve could make a solid unit. I could put it on my desk, plug it in, download all my Steam games, and just go. That would be the dream. I would absolutely love that. And like I said, I think plenty of other people would too. I don't want to sound like I'm too much of a downer on PlayStation this time, but I loved my PlayStation 4, and I was so excited to go into PS5, and it's just been a letdown for me. It honestly has. I got a PS5, and like a year later, I wanted a Steam Deck. And then when I got the Steam Deck, that's all I played. I never touched the PlayStation 5 anymore. It's like, occasionally, like when Astrobot came out and it was not available on the Steam Deck, okay, I'll get on the PlayStation. But, the only other thing that was going to pull me to PlayStation this year was going to be Metal Gear Solid Delta, because I doubt that's going to run very well on the Steam Deck. I've heard that the performance of that is really bad, even though it's verified. But yeah, like I said, one game a year, that's not worth a video game console. That's just not. If I only want one game a year on PlayStation, that's not enough for me to buy a PlayStation 6. I will enjoy GTA 6 when that comes out. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll play that all the time on my PS5. But, I mean, knowing Rockstar, we're not going to get another major title like that for another, 10, 20 years. So, that their next game is probably not going to even be on the PlayStation 6. So it's like, well, PS6 is not sounding that attractive. Plus, there's a lot of rumors going around that's going to be like, oh, it's going to be like $800. It's going to be something crazy, right? Because the PlayStation Pro or PlayStation 5 Pro is already insanely priced. But I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to make a quick little thing here and just kind of mention, I will throw my hat in the ring. I want a Steam console or a mini PC or whatever they're going to call it. Like, something I could just throw on my desktop and download my stuff and go. Please, I would absolutely love that. That would be a dream for me. Maybe they could even do something kind of cool too, where it's like, kind of like with the Nintendo 64, there could be like a little expansion area in the back, where it's like, in about 3 to 4 years, we're going to sell this accessory that's going to boost the power of it, so it'll kind of keep it alive, right? And it's like, you just plug it right into the back and just go. It's like, dude, that'd be sick. That'd be so cool. But I don't know. Are any of you guys on Steam? Like, what do you think? Am I doing this wrong? Should I just build a PC and put Linux on it? Is it not that big a deal? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, guys, take care of each other out there.